What's going on, everybody? My name is Josh Washburn of Washburn Fab Co. and welcome back to my channel. Today we have 3 machines to review. As you can see, I'm a little bit behind on making my videos. I've been super busy the last couple months. I started another business here in town, and I'm also trying to keep up with my other YouTube channel. So it's getting a little crazy and hard to find time to record videos. But I'm going to try to get all 3 of these posted this week. So we have 3 different machines. They're all going to have separate videos, but I'll just tell you guys which each of them are. We have a Safasfi MiG 205DS. We have a Deca Power. I'm not sure what the model number is on this one until I open it up, but this is also a multi-process 220. And then we have a Vevor plasma cutter, which I'm actually pretty interested to try that one out. So in this video, we're going to check out this Vevor plasma cutter. Let's go ahead and get this machine open up and see what it looks like. This machine has a pretty nice case to it. It has a super simple display, which is just the amperage on top. Easy to adjust amperage dial there. It also gives you a little cutting thickness guide for what PSIs to use. I honestly just run all my plasma stuff at 80. I don't care what the thickness is. I just change my speed up. So I just leave mine at 80, and that includes for all my CNC stuff as well. I just leave it around 80 pounds. What do we have in this box here? Have an instruction manual with, looks like some hose clamps and bolts, probably for the regulator that goes on the back. We have some air hose. We have a ground clamp. There's an adapter to run this on 110 or 120, whatever you want to call it. I am not sure what these are, to be honest. Maybe I'll figure out later. We have some tape. Here's the pressure regulator filter. Comes with some brass ends for that. And here's our pressure gauge. It does have PSI as well as the metric. I'm glad and very thankful when I see PSI, because I had a few back when these budget machines were coming out. They never put PSI on them, and it was always a pain. You had to use another regulator to match it up and check to see what the actual gauge was, and then put this one back on. So I'm really happy to see this one has a PSI on it. And also our torch for the plasma cutter itself. This actually looks pretty good quality. These cables are kind of thick. They look pretty strong. We're going to start by putting this together real quick. So these 2 bigger ends here on each side, we're going to pop those out. And these are going to thread in there. I am going to put some tape on there to keep it from leaking, but just to show you guys, it'll look like that. And we're going to pop that center one out, and your pressure gauge goes right there. I am putting tape on all of this just to be safe. I know technically on brass you don't really need it, but we're going to do it anyways. So actually I took off one of these fittings, and I'm putting on a regular air chuck on the other side. I didn't even think about that. We need a regular air chuck on this side so that we can hook our compressor up to it, because the only other things that they come with is that hose over there for our outside. And then on our inside, we're going to run the plasma cutter straight into this. So I'm going to put some tape on here and then get that hooked up. It's raining pretty bad now, so I might have to do this later. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to even hear me anymore. I swear, every time I go to make a review video lately, this winter, it has just been going nuts. And it's hailing right now, too. All right, the rain stopped. So for our hose, we're going to put it here on the back. And they gave us clamps for the hose. We have everything hooked up here. Just as a refresher, we have the gas going to our machine coming up on the right side of this regulator, water filter, whatever you want to call it. Then we have our regular air fitting to our air compressor on this side. Now that everything's hooked up there, we're going to go over to the other side here. We have the ground cable with a very simple picture of a ground, so we know where it goes right here. And then our torch will go here, our pilot arc cable will go there, and our remote wire will go there. This is kind of different. That's the first time I've seen a clamp like this for the air on the plasma torch. Definitely nothing wrong with that, but that's just the first time I've seen it set up that way. These two are pretty self-explanatory. You can't really hook them up wrong. Our pilot just goes on here, and we put our cap back on over the top. And then with our remote, it'll only fit on one way. There's a little notch here in the top. Here's one more look at this torch. Like I mentioned earlier, this is actually a pretty heavy-duty torch to be coming with the machine at this price point. This is a 15-foot lead as well, and this cable in here is pretty thick compared to what you see on all the other ones. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hook my air compressor up, hook my power up. We're going to run it on 220, and then I'm going to cut some scrap steel probably. Let's see. We're going to cut some 1/4 inch scrap steel, see how that does. If it cuts 1/4 inch fine, obviously it's going to cut everything below that thickness fine as well. So let's give it a try. It might be a little hard to hear me over the machine, and I'm leaking a little bit of air, but this dial isn't really accurate to what it says over here. Like over here it says I should be at 40, it's really at 45.7. I've never seen a plasma cutter with a decimal point on it for the 10th place. A little unnecessary. It's kind of hard to actually adjust it to what we're looking for, but really I wouldn't be too concerned about this third number over here. I'm going to run this at 40. My air pressure's at 80. 80 is more air pressure than they recommend, so if it doesn't cut good, it's my own fault. But like I mentioned earlier, I always run 80 on my plasma cutters, pretty much through and through all the way. We have an excellent cut right here, in my opinion. We have a little bit of dross or slag on here, which we're going to have pretty much no matter what. The only way not to have any at all is if you're like fine-tuned on a CNC machine. Even on my CNC, I still get some dross. So that's definitely nothing to worry about. That's a pretty clean cut for something quick and freehand that I did. Let's punch a hole in the top of this and just shoot through a freehand hole just to see what it does. It's always nice if a plasma cutter has like a good penetration right off the bat where it punches your hole through instead of just arcing out everywhere and spraying all over the place. So we'll give that a shot, and then I'll pretty much have my opinions wrapped up on this machine. So I did a little bit more cutting than I showed in the video. I just wanted to keep this video straight to the point and show you that it works pretty good. When I punched my hole, it didn't take too long at all. There's what my hole looks like. I'll zoom in on that for you real quick. Pretty decent for freehand cutting. I don't cut a lot of fancy stuff with the hand plasma anymore since I have the plasma table, but it's definitely doable with this if you need to cut out some intricate shapes or whatever for what you're working on. If you would like to purchase this machine, I'll leave a link down below in the description, hopefully with a coupon code or discount link of some sort. I'm going to talk to them before I post it and see what kind of discount I can get you guys on this machine. I will also put this on my Amazon affiliates link down below as well if you prefer to buy from Amazon. Overall, this is a great budget plasma cutter machine to have around, especially at the price point. If you didn't know, Vevor sells like everything. You can find almost anything on Vevor, literally anything. It's like a Walmart. It's hard to explain. But if you haven't seen anything from Vevor before, definitely go check them out. I bought a bunch of random tools from there that have all worked pretty well for what I needed them for. Don't forget, we have 2 other videos coming up this week, so be sure to check those out as well. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.